Well, tell us how you've brought, how the process of bringing feminism to psychology occurred for you.
Yeah. So none of that. So you asked about mentors. All my mentors were men, and Boyd McCandless was a wonderful mentor, even though I didn't work with him. He was very supportive and always promoted me, and my first book he threw my way. Said, oh, Judy could do it, and no one had ever, who was I was nobody at the time. Anyway, feminism. We were giving papers, and I was doing research on, I got very interested in children's self-control and self-regulation. And that was very much a kind of thing of cognitive social learning, is not just someone reinforcing you from the outside, but you're being able to tell yourself, I can do it, and giving positive expectations. Excuse me, I've got a drink. We did a piece of research and reported it at the Southeastern Psychological Association, because we were in Kentucky and that was our area. And somebody came up to me, it was Barbara Walston, and wanted me to get involved with AWP. And so I said, what's that? And then Annette Brodsky came up. See, that we had a bunch of feminist women down there. Ellen Kimmel was there, and the guy who was the president-elect of SEPA at the time, and I'm sorry, I can't remember his last name. His first name was Ray, and it wasn't Ray Fowler. It was Ray somebody other. At the urging of some of these women, set up a commission on women of Southeastern Psychological Association. We were the only association in the country that had that. And we started making trouble. We started doing research, and they asked me if I'd be part of it, and it was, I didn't know any psychologist women. I didn't know any. We didn't have any place I went. My husband's first job was in, every job he went to, the University of Iowa, and he first taught at Reed College, and then University of Iowa, and then Oklahoma State. None of them, and Kentucky when we came in, none of them had ever had a woman in their department. And we were in Iowa. There were several wives who had PhDs. We could not teach anywhere in the university. They had a rule. They couldn't teach.
You weren't allowed to teach either?
No.
Wow.
So I went over I met someone who, Jane Knopf, who was a psychologist working over in the hospital, psychiatric hospital, offered me a job as a research associate over there. And I did research with kids. One of my early publications on anxiety and meprobamate or something like that.
Right, I noticed that one.
Oh my Lord. And it was okay, you didn't have IRBs or informed consent, and we were trying to look at the effects of meprobamate on reducing anxiety in patients. And I was working with dependency. I was very interested in dependency at the time. I forget why. The social psychology of the first person says, no, this stick is longer than that one, and the next one says.
The conformity.
Conformity kind of things, And I was in relationship with that, the dependent personality. But anyway, the theory would be that after someone would see everybody disagree with them, they get very anxious, and how would giving them meprobamate reduce that anxiety? As I recall, it was something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how did you
react?
It was
shocked. I mean, good grief.
How did you react at the time? Do you remember when you would encounter these situations in which you couldn't teach simply because you were a wife of? How did that impact you at the time? What were your thoughts about that at the time?
I don't think I was as angry as I was later.
Yeah.
That what feminism did for women like me was raise our consciousness about the personal is political. And it's not that they used that word at all, but that what was happening to me in 5 places was not that Judy wasn't smart, which after a while you'd think, gee, I guess I'm not good enough, right? In 5 places they weren't hiring me. Not that I wasn't smart, but that there was a structure, there was something going on. What was it? So that's when we began to use the word patriarchy. We began to, and then when I joined the Commission on Women, then we began to look at, and I was part of a study that I think we published somewhere or other, I can't remember anymore, on looking at the percent of women in all the university faculties of the South, you know, and it was minuscule every place. Very, very few women any place. Here and there was a woman.